Greeting fellow history enthusiasts, and welcome to a new episode of Antiquities Engagements. In today's video, we'll be revisiting one of the most influential battles of the ancient world, Alexander the Great's resounding victory over the Persian Empire at Gaugamela in 331 BC. This monumental clash on the plains of what is now northern Iraq pitted Alexander's Macedonian army against the massive forces of Persian King Darius III. Despite being outnumbered, Alexander pulled off a tactical masterclass, securing a decisive win that heralded the fall of the once mighty Persian realm. The Battle of Gaugamela exemplified Alexander's brilliance as a military strategist. His ingenious maneuvers and well-coordinated cavalry and infantry attacks overwhelmed the Persians. We'll analyze the tactics Alexander employed to exploit weakness in the Persian lines and maintain his formation's integrity amidst intense fighting. So join me as we relive this epic Battle of Gaugamela and uncover how Alexander's greatest triumph exemplified his unparalleled genius on the battlefield. The strategies that earned him the moniker Alexander the Great still resonate over 2,000 years later. To understand the showdown at Gaugamela, we need to examine the escalating rivalry between the Macedonians and the Persians in the decades prior. Tensions rose after Persian King Darius III's predecessor, Darius II, interfered in Macedonian affairs by supporting rebel factions against the Macedonian king. This perceived Persian meddling angered many Macedonians. When Alexander ascended to the throne in 336 BC, he was determined to retaliate against the Persians and expand Macedonian power. The ambitious young king spent his first years systematically subduing rebellions among the Greeks and other populations near Macedonian to solidify his position. By 334 BC, Alexander felt ready to embark on his long-held goal, a full-scale invasion of the Persian Empire. At the head of a formidable Macedonian army, Alexander's sights were set on bringing the mighty Persian realm to its knees. Gaugamela would be his crowning achievement. The Battle of Gaugamela took place on the broad open plains near the village of Gaugamela in what is now Iraq. This expansive terrain offered the ideal battlefield for the vast armies assembled by both sides. King Darius III amassed an enormous Persian force at Gaugamela, numbering between 50,000 to 100,000 troops according to ancient sources. This included fierce Persian cavalry, masses of infantry, and speedy scythe-wielded chariots. Darius deliberately chose Gaugamela for its unobstructed ground where he could deploy the full might of his sprawling army against Alexander's smaller force of around 47,000 Macedonian and Greek soldiers. Yet despite being outnumbered at least 2-1, Alexander would leverage the flat battlefield to execute daring maneuvers and cavalry strikes intended to break the Persian lines. The open plains became the stage for Alexander's greatest triumph. The battle commenced with Alexander's forces advancing on the massed Persian position. Seeing an opportunity, Darius ordered his elite Persian cavalry on the right flank to initiate a sweeping attack on Alexander's left. Thundering across the plain, the Persian cavalry charge gained momentum before violently colliding with Alexander's Thessalian horsemen. A fierce clash erupted with neither side gaining ground initially. Meanwhile, Darius unleashed waves of Scythe's chariots, hoping these swift vehicles could penetrate Alexander's lines and wreak havoc. But Alexander had anticipated this tactic. On seeing the chariots barreling forward, Alexander's infantry opened ordered gaps in their ranks. The chariots raced through these channels only to be contained and disabled by troops stationed in the rear, neutralizing the threat. This ingenious response showcased Alexander's ability to adapt on the battlefield and counter the Persian moves. The stage was set for the main infantry battle ahead. As the battle progressed, Alexander displayed stellar adaptability and tactical acumen in responding to the shifting Persian attacks. With their chariots neutralized, the main Persian and Macedonian infantry lines collided with overwhelming force. The Macedonians' disciplined phalanx formations proved resilient, locking shields and presenting an impenetrable wall of spears. The Persian infantry fought fiercely, but lacked the cohesion and training of Alexander's men. For over 6 grueling hours, the infantry skirmish raged across the blood-soaked plains. Finally, the Macedonians' rigorous conditioning and unbreakable unity carried the day. The Persian infantry buckled and their lines splintered before retreating into disarray. Sensing the time was ripe, Alexander mobilized his cavalry for the decisive blow. The Persian army had taken enormous losses, and Darius himself now fled the field. It was Alexander's greatest triumph. Throughout the battle, Alexander demonstrated unmatched strategic intuition and versatility that confounded the Persians. His cavalry, infantry, and companion cavalry forces operated in harmony, able to adapt their formations and tactics to counter Persian moves. Alexander judiciously reinforced gaps in his lines while concentrating his cavalry at key points to deliver hammer blows against weakened Persian positions. The Macedonian phalanxes presented interlocked shields bristled with spears, denying the numerically superior Persians any gaps to exploit. Their discipline allowed them to maintain tight formations amidst swirling combat. In contrast, the Persian lines lacked cohesion. Unable to match the Macedonians' dexterity, their rigid formations fractured. The Persian commanders found themselves encircled by Alexander's cavalry, precipitating to the Persian collapse. By battle's end, Alexander had orchestrated a tactical masterclass, entrapping and dismantling the Persians, a testament to his strategic brilliance. Alexander's decisive triumph at Gaugamela exemplified his unparalleled military genius and strategic intuition. His mastery of tactics, mobile warfare, and motivating his troops would inspire commanders for generations. In the immediate aftermath, Gaugamela opened the floodgates to Alexander's conquest of the vast Persian Empire over the next 7 years. Babylon, Persepolis, and finally Persia itself fell, establishing Alexander as ruler of the greatest empire of the ancient world. Alexander's stunning victory and the fall of Persia sent shockwaves throughout the Mediterranean. The Battle of Gaugamela remains one of history's most studied and influential military engagements. Generals from Caesar to Napoleon analyzed Alexander's method at Gaugamela, drawing lessons on outmaneuvering and dividing superior enemy forces. Even modern military academies continue applying case studies of Alexander's tactical orchestration at this pivotal triumph 2,300 years ago. The Battle of Gaugamela exemplified how superior strategy and coordination can overcome even staggering numerical disadvantages. Though outnumbered at least 2-1, Alexander's forces defeated the Persian multitudes through tactical mastery. Alexander showcased his keen battle instincts by fluidly repositioning units to counter Persian thrust and reinforce flagging areas of his line. The Macedonians' conditioning, discipline, and unified phalanxes continuously overpowered the Persians in head-to-head combat. After centuries, the Battle of Gaugamela remains one of history's premier examples of battle orchestration and how sheer numbers alone cannot guarantee victory. Alexander cemented his reputation as a consummate commander who altered the course of ancient history. I hope you enjoyed this glimpse back in time in an epic ancient clash. Let me know your thoughts and what historic battles you'd like us to cover in future videos. As always, thank you for watching Antiquities Engagements. Please like and subscribe to join us in uncovering more fascinating episodes from antiquity.